Welcome to another session of our X2 CRM training series. My name is Tom Carroll, and I will be leading the training in this session. And in this particular session, we're going to be covering the service module, one of the key modules within X2 CRM. And during this session, we'll provide an overview of the complete service module. We'll dive down into service tickets and how those work and how those are set up. We'll look at a couple of different unique capabilities of our service module, and that's the similar cases capability and also customer portal, where clients can actually get a view of what's going on with their particular cases. So let's get into the training. We're going to talk about the service module, and of course, you can access the service module from the top bar where you access all the other different modules. When you go into the service module, again, as with other modules in X2 CRM, you are presented with a grid view. In this case, it's focused on the different service cases that are in the system. And you can, of course, determine what fields you want to show as far as the columns are concerned by clicking the check box, and they will show up in the columns. And of course, you can maneuver the columns around however you want to see them that make it easier for your service staff to work with them. Now, let's take a look at the different actions we have in service cases, because they're a little bit different than some of the others. Of course, the first view is all the cases, and of course, you can click down into any individual one to see the details. You can click on Create a Case, and that will allow you to enter a new case manually into the system. Now, that's just one of the ways that a service case may be entered. A second way is that you can create a web form, which can be then put on one of your landing pages or web pages, where a client can go ahead to that page and enter the information of their particular issue, and you determine by all the different fields in the service module, you can drag and drop different fields onto the form, however you want it to read. And then once you're ready, you can click on down here, Generate HTML, and save. And you can copy that HTML and put that on the web page where you want it to reside. Then when clients have an issue, instead of picking up the phone calling or sending in an email, they could go ahead and fill in the form. And again, whatever information you ask for will be brought in, and a new case will be created through entering into the form. So just take for an example, somebody came in and entered the form and created a new case. Let's look at this one, for instance. The basic information is going to come into the system. It could be assigned based on routing rules that are in the system that you put in the system. So the next up rep might take that, or based on different values, reps could be assigned to that. But there's different ways, again, to assign that. And so the case is all ready to be worked. And when they fill in the form, an email will go back to the individual acknowledging that we've received the case and we're working on it, and we'll be in touch with them as soon as possible. Now, in addition, the other actions, we can create lists of cases. Whoops. That's not a good one. But we can create lists of cases based on different criteria. Maybe we want to look at all the impacts that are minor or critical or severe. We can filter by those things. We can filter on cases assigned to different reps, different issues. Any of these field values, we can create lists off of those that then we could send out a mass email to them. Maybe a follow-up of how did we do. We could look at all the ones that have been resolved and within a date range. and go and send an email out to those people. We've talked about the web form. A couple other things that are interesting on this page. Before I go into these two, but look down below that we provide a capability to filter the different cases by these different statuses. Now I've checked all of these, so all of the statuses are showing up here in the grid view. But if I just want to look at new ones, I could get rid of all of them and just click on new. And here's all the new cases that are in. Maybe I want to see what are the ones waiting for response, and we'll bring those in. Or I can just bring in all of them. So that's a little bit of a unique feature in the service module versus in the others. Of course, you can also filter on the filter line up here, as you can do with all your different grid views. Now, a couple other things we do have from the grid view. We have the capability of creating a knowledge base. Now, this is an extra feature that you can acquire, and your admins can set up knowledge bases so that your reps could go in and enter in key phrases, and it will come back and list all of the information that's in the system, that may be documents, PDFs, all different things that could be accessed about that particular subject, and can be very useful. We also allow the capability of a portal page that users can actually get access to come in and see their particular cases and communicate with the people working on that case. Now, your admin will set these up for you, but just recognize that we do have that capability within the service module of being able to do that. We can also import services into the system and export services out. And again, your admin would probably set that up for you. Now, if we go down into particular case, as with all of the modules in X2, your main body of the screen will be the details of the service cases. Now, in this case, the customization comes into play, whereas each company kind of runs their service operation a little bit differently, and they may want to look at different fields of data, or call them differently and organize them differently. And of course, X2 allows you to completely customize how this looks with the different sections and the different information that you're keeping track here. Now, as with the other modules, you have the capability over here of what we call our publisher, where you could add comments onto this particular case. You can create actions where you're setting up reminders to do something in the future. You can log calls very quickly. You can log time spent. This can be very key in a service organization. If you're on the phone or working on a case, you can very easily put in what you did and the amount of time spent, and that's going to be recorded down below, so you can keep track of how long this took. And you can also create calendar events. Now notice when any of things entered up here, it will show up over here in what we call the journal view. So we had a call over here that we left a voicemail, made a comment that we're waiting on that customer to provide additional details. But then we also went ahead and created an action to follow up if we're not hearing from that customer. And all those are showing over here. And in addition, it's going to show up in the list view down below on the left, where there's an action to be done. We had one call, we had a comment. We haven't had any emails at this point. We also show when a customer goes into the portal to see what the status is of their case, they can communicate directly in this widget down here, where they can submit a question or a response, and the service rep can respond back, and the customer will pick that up in the portal. Again, your admin will set that up for you if you want to use that capability. We also have the relationship widget, which connects the case, in this case, to the contact that submitted it. And it also, in this case, is related to another case, case number 12, which up here it shows that that was a parent case of this case number 59. Now, one other feature that we've added is the capability of looking up similar cases. And this icon up here, which is the check mark with the circle around it, if I click on that, it's going to look through cases in the system which would be similar to this. And it uses the main issue and sub-issue fields to determine whether there have been cases. And when other cases with those same issues have been closed and resolved, they will show up on this list. So this new case got started. We look on similar cases and we see there's been 2 others. Very quickly, the resolution had been you replace cable on this one, reboot router on this one. So that could help the technician. Well, let's try these since that's been successful. So a quick way to try something to resolve it. And if need be, you can even click into the case and see what those that case have been, and see if there's any other details that they may want to use. But the point being is it's a capability to be able to quickly help resolve cases. And also from a training perspective, when you have new service personnel that come in, this is a great way for them to get started and a quick kind of cheat sheet as far as how to resolve particular instances out there. You want to emphasize with your service personnel to put as much information as possible. In my demo system here, I don't get too wordy, but you probably want to encourage them to put in as much information as possible. And also, if I click on this icon, this is the edit icon, and it opens up all the fields that can be edited. Notice there's quite a bit of use of drop downs. These drop downs can be customized to your organization. So your case details, main issues, they may have nothing to do with these ones that we have here in the demo system. You can determine what's important to you as far as what the main issues might be. And the same way with sub issues. And if you do a good job of categorizing them, then that feature of the other incidents really becomes helpful because it can hone in really directly on what's going on with a new client coming in, with a new case coming in. And you can determine the impact. You can have additional impact if you want to, or name them different things if you want to. Statuses, again, you can determine what the different statuses are as far as what it means to your organization and where it came from. Typically, phone, web, and email are going to be the 3 main sources of where it comes from. But if there's other ways that you might get things in, you can change that drop down. So as you work through, I'll save this so it comes back to the detail. As you're working through the case, you can see all the activity going on down here as technicians enter different information. But again, you can add additional fields to add additional information in the main detail of that. And of course, the whole idea is to handle the cases as efficiently and quickly as possible to get the resolution that satisfies the customer and make the customer happy that they've done business with you. Now, at any point in time, too, I should mention, when I'm in the detail record, you can send an email, and the email is going to grab the email address of the main contact here, put it into the system. It's going to take the user's email and put it up here as far as the send to. But you can, and you can customize messages with templates as far as maybe you want to send out, hey, we've received your case, your case number, attribute 59, all of the fields in the service module can be attributes within an email. So you can customize it into the case number, the issue, those types of things. So you can reach out very easily via email if you want to follow up with a customer or reach out to them for additional information. And again, it works consistently with the other modules. So once you know how to work within one module, you know how to work with the others within the system. So I hope that this session has been valuable to you. What we've done is talk about the service module within X2, and we provided that overview of how it works. We've talked about service tickets and how they can come in. Either you can take the information over the phone and manually enter it in. You can have an email come in, and that can create a service ticket. But also, a great way is the web form out on a web page, out on one of your web pages, that can take the service case information in and automatically create the ticket and send a automated email out. We have the similar cases capability. We talked about the customer portal, which your admin can set up so that customers can just come in and check without having to call, and they can see the status of cases. We also talked about a knowledge base where you can set up knowledge bases, which can help your technicians look up different things as far as, um, again, getting to quick resolution of issues that may come up.